Welcome to Gaston Spotlight. I'm Phil Pope. Our guest today is film composer Cristina Valez Justo.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Glad to be here.
Fantastic. So let's get started. How did you get into composing music, and what's your background in that?
So I knew that I wanted to be a film composer since I was 6 years old. I did not actually follow film composition because everyone in my family is either an engineer or a medical professional. So I studied forensic chemistry my first year of undergrad. Through a change of life events, I guess a wake-up call you could say, I realized that I wanted to pursue music composition, and I transferred to UNC Chapel Hill. There I finished my BA in music composition, and after a few years of living the real world and realizing I wasn't going to get anywhere with film composition, I had to learn more in the craft. I went for my MFA in film music composition at UNC School of the Arts. From there, I had received the music internship at the Television Academy Foundation, also known as the Emmys, and moved to Los Angeles to pursue that. There, I worked with a few well-established film and television composers, such as Michael Levine, who did the Kit Kat jingle, Resident Evil 7, Siren, Freeform Siren, Season 1. I worked with Jeff Russo, who did Star Trek Discovery, Altered Carbon, Fargo, the TV series, etc., and Reinhold Heil, who worked on Cloud Atlas and was the executive producer of 99 Red Balloons. After I finished the internship, I worked as an assistant for a couple of other composers, Craig Ritchie and Anton Senko. I worked as a copyist on You Can Choose Your Family. It's an independent film that went through South by Southwest, and also worked as an additional orchestrator for Hulu's Tiny Shoulders Rethinking Barbie. You can find it on Hulu. I have an additional orchestration credit at the end. It's kind of a big deal for me.
Oh, awesome, congrats.
Thanks. And so from there, I realized, well, my husband and I realized LA wasn't for us, so we moved back to North Carolina about 7 months ago, and 7 months ago, and now I'm finishing my business, I'm developing my business in Real Scoring, which provides original music for media here in Charlotte. And now I teach, I lecture, I speak, and I write music full time.
Wow, sounds like quite a journey and quite a resume to go along with it.
Thanks.
So I know you kind of touched on it, but what kind of films would you like to compose music for? Like, what do you
so currently I work on all sorts of things. I work on shorts, I work on features, documentary shorts, animations, promotional videos, commercials, anything that requires, any media that requires original music. But I would love to do more animations. Animation has been my passion for ages.
Awesome. Yeah, I like how, with animation, same thing with music scoring, you can kind of just tell all kinds of different stories, and, with the types of animation you can do, it's like, sky's the limits with what you can do with that. So I can understand why you would definitely want to do that. How do people find you? Like, if somebody needs to do a project, how can they get, in touch with you?
Good question. So within this business, you have to do a lot of networking, right? Yep. It's not so much of who you know, it's who knows you. So I have to do a lot of legwork in making sure that I'm known, that people can then find me. You can find me through my website, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on IMDb, but people will ultimately not know that I exist until I actually go out there and meet the people and say, hey, I'm a composer. Right. So, but if there's someone that is looking for music, they can find me through my website, email me, which you can find me through my website, or find me on Facebook. I'm rather communicative on Facebook, especially through my business page.
Okay, so it's not so much just being the best at what you do, you actually have to go out and tell people that, hey, I am the best at what I do.
Well, I don't want to sound that arrogant.
No, I'll say it for you. You don't have to say it.
But I say that I am the best that I can be at the moment. There's always room to grow. But I am good at what I do. I firmly believe it if it means that I've been asked to go to LA and I'm constantly asked to do film scores, then I must know something, right?
I would say that resume kind of speaks for itself, right?
Thank you. So, yeah.
So I think we've probably already covered this, but what exactly are you working on right now?
All right, let's see. So,
A lot.
Well, since I moved back from LA 7 months ago, I've been accumulating projects. So far, I've finished 3 short films, a commercial, and I'm currently working on a documentary short. There are about 4 other narrative shorts that are coming in by the end of the fall. There's a possible family children's feature. They're in post-production right now. A war documentary. I'm trying to think. And possibly a couple of other promotional videos along the way.
And that's all just
for the fall.
Just right now.
Just for the fall.
It's quite a big plate. Speaking of big plates, I hear you teach at the UNC School of the Arts. Tell us about that.
Yes, so on Mondays I drive to Winston-Salem and I teach the second year graduate students. I lead their lessons, so independent lessons where I basically say, that's good, that doesn't exactly work, let's improve this, et cetera, et cetera. And I also teach conducting and 5.1 recording. So those are the 2 classes I may be teaching next year. Depends how things go. Next year is in next semester,
right.
But I hope to be a part of the School of the Arts for a while.
Okay. Do they run on the traditional fall, spring, summer semester, or are they on the quarter system?
Nope, you had right the first time.
Okay.
Yep.
I know
right,
sometimes art
spring and
schools
summer.
do different.
Right.
That can make it a little harder, especially with everything you got going on. So I got you. So you recently won an award. Can you tell us what was it for?
So I won Best Musical Score in the animation category at Peak City International Film Festival. That was for the film Splash, which you could find it at the Charlotte Film Festival. It will also be premiering at the Carolina Film Festival. Every festival that we've submitted it to, it's gotten accepted. So it'll be all over the East Coast or Southeast. So
I'm going to say if we miss it there, we can pick it up somewhere, right?
Right. I mean, email me. I'll send you a private link.
Awesome. I'll be on that. I know you said Splash is going to be at the Charlotte Film Festival. Do you have anything else going on there, or is that kind of their main project that you got?
Actually, I am leading a workshop on Saturday, September 29th from 10 to 1, so 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Wheelhouse Media. I'll be talking about film music and perception, basically dividing it into 2 different seminars. The first being the golden age of film music, so basically speaking about how it's not the golden age right now. It was between the 30s and 70s, and we'll be discussing examples and things like that. And the second portion of the workshop, we'll be talking about the leitmotif, also known as thematic music, and discussing different forms of scoring and why thematic music is the most powerful. And we'll be discussing like John Williams and Alan Silvestri and why it is that their music speaks to us. So there's that, and then after my workshop, I'll be part of a panel also taking place at Wheelhouse Media for female filmmakers. So basically, being a filmmaker and female is the name of the panel.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
You want to elaborate on that a little more, kind of get that out, or?
So it will be 4 women led by, or is it 3? I can't remember the numbers because I know Julie Emmons is involved. She will be hosting or leading the panel. She is the director of the Carolina Film Community, very involved in the community. We have Asha, I don't want to murder her last name.
We can stay on a first name basis.
Well, Asha Chai Chung, I think is her name, her last name. She's a filmmaker, so producer, writer, director. She owns Love My Productions. And then there is Catherine, cannot remember her last name. she has a feature film out called Parallel Chords that will be shown or premiered at the Charlotte Film Festival. She is a director, writer, and composer.
Oh, wow.
She's a fantastic woman as well. I mean, these are all fantastic women. I hope I'm not missing somebody. Well, myself.
The most important part, right?
Well, no, all these women have amazing contributions to the community. So I definitely say to everyone, go out to that panel and here's talk about film.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a good time. Where do you get your inspiration for your music?
That is a very good question. I was thinking about that on the drive here. To be honest, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I advise everyone to go out and live, experience the world. You know, my husband and I, we're huge foodies and winos, so we'll drink wine, we'll enjoy some food, and experience cultures. And just spending time with him, and spending time with my dog, and going out into nature, and just sucking up everything around me like a sponge helps to get the juices flowing in my mind, because you never know what you're going to get inspired by.
Right.
It could just be the color of a flower that says, that's a really awesome color, I want to write a piece of music based off of that. So
Yeah, it seems like perspective, something so simple. You just look at it an opposite way of everybody looks at it. You know, you can get all kinds of stories and everything like that from there. When you guys moved from LA back to here, was that a road trip so you could kind of draw in more inspirations, or was that...
it was more of an escape plan. No, I'm kidding.
Escape from LA?
Right. Well, again, LA is not for everyone, although I advise everyone to go to LA and experience their own truth, develop their own truth. But we went cross country 2 times in 1 year, so it was a little exhausting.
Quite a journey.
But on the way back, we were able to enjoy more time with family in Houston, and that really helped to put things into perspective as well. So in a sense, it did act as an inspiration, because the moment we came back to North Carolina, it was just whole weight off the shoulders, and it's like, all right, let's get to writing.
Yeah, had to unload a lot of that, right? What advice do you have for people that are starting out, maybe as trying to be a or a music composer?
Well, one of the biggest things that I would advise if you wish to be a composer for media is go and get an official education or an ingrained education in classical music. So get a music degree. As I say to many other, or for anyone in any industry, you must learn your history. You have to learn the rules so you can break them.
Okay.
Learn the rules so you can develop a toolbox. There are a lot of composers today who do not have a formal background in music, and I feel it's one of the reasons why film music doesn't speak to us as much as it did in the past. So that's one thing. The other thing is, if you do wish to be a composer for media, or especially for film, big budget films, go to LA and develop your truth. So formal training, go to LA, and have some form of instruction for film music composition. So the idea of orchestration using sample libraries and learning the software, because there's a lot of software involved.
Yeah. So you got to know where you're coming from to know where you're going, right? Kind of
Exactly.
one of those things. Well, Cristina, that's all we had. That's all the time we had today. I want to say thanks for joining us. And again, it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
For GCTV, this has been Philip Hope. Thanks, everybody.